All right, we are recording. We are recording. We are recording. What is going on, America? This is Harry. I'm talking to my main man, Rod, and this is our
Yo,
first podcast called
Raymond and Sons.
Raymond and Sons. So, before we get started, Rod, why did we
Yes,
come up
sir.
with what is Raymond and Sons, and what is that all about? Talk to me.
Well, Raymond is a father to many people. So, with Raymond and Sons, it's just showing appreciation to everything he taught us. If you ever want to get around something or do something, some way around the book, you talk to Raymond. And he always have the answer.
There you go. So, Raymond is, my father-in-law, and I mean, might as well be your
Yeah,
dad, your pops
dad,
too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. If you
you
meet
know,
Raymond, he gonna take you in. So you just be another son or daughter under Raymond. That's
there you
all.
go. So yeah, the name of this podcast is Raymond's Sons. We'll try out to do some of these episodes once a week. But Rod, tell everybody what is the purpose of this podcast? What are we going to be talking about? Why should viewers tune in? And what are we all about?
Well, we're gonna be all about current events, what's happening that week of sports, just hanging out, just having a good time, a good conversation, opinions, different opinions, views on any topics that's going on. And I'm gonna speak my mind because I don't care. So,
Yeah, you're pretty much going to hear unfiltered from here. If you want the real
oh
truth,
yeah,
if you want what really goes down, if you want to know how people really feel about something, that's where you get Rod in. Rod's
yeah.
gonna let you know how it is. He's gonna
I
tell
cuss.
you how it is. Oh, so do we need to make sure when we're doing this podcast, I gotta make sure it's for mature audiences. This is not gonna be your PG where everybody can listen to it for a mature audience. I gotta put the explicit on there.
No, you don't have to do that. I can hold back a little bit, but I'm letting if I gotta let it go. Like when we get on Willie,
Oh boy.
Florida State. Okay,
You
take
know
my
what?
money now. Let me help donate now.
All right. Well, I guess that is gonna be our first take. So, Rod has, Rod's got some teams. One of his favorite teams is Florida State.
Yes,
And
mom went
he
there. Played tennis. I grew up loving them. You know, we was dominating now, so it wasn't hard to love them.
so this being fitting that today is that game where all Florida State and the U fans know this is another showdown of Florida State versus Miami. But before we talk about the game, Rod, tell me what's going on with Willie. Like I remember last year when he
I
started
gave
off,
him a chance. I
you
gave
were
him a chance.
you were telling me, hey, you know what? We got this coach come from Oregon. He's
South
you
Florida.
know you had the whole thing where y'all's coach ended up leaving to Texas A&M, and he's not doing so hot, by the way.
Oh,
But
you
y'all want to.
Jimbo?
I mean,
Yeah.
y'all got your championship. Your dude Jameis, stealing the crabs and stuff like that. But you ended up getting your championship,
Okay.
and then
I knew this was
Jimbo.
gonna come. This was
I
gonna
mean,
come from the U and a Notre Dame fan.
look. Anyways, Jimbo ends up piecing out after he wins the championship. You
He pieced out
guys,
for $100 million. I pieced out right now for $100 million.
I mean, hey, he's just not a true FSU dude, but that's besides the point. So you come in next year, you've got some coach who isn't really doing anything. You've got an assistant coordinator who's trying to do his thing to try to get a job, and then after that, then the Willie Taggart era starts. Now, Rod, you were pretty excited about him. Like I remember you telling me a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
about him, about some of the things that he did at Oregon, some of the things that he
South
did
Florida.
down south. That's Florida. So you were really, really excited about this.
I,
Last year, I figured, let
high
me give
pace
you a year.
offense.
Let me give you a year because every person needs to bring his people, and the way that Jimbo left, Jimbo took a lot of y'all's players. So I figured, all right,
Jimbo
what's going?
sat that year out. He sat that whole year out. That
So
last year at Florida State, Jimbo phoned that in.
I mean, he did not recruit. He was probably
Yeah.
recruiting for
For
Texas
Texas
A&M
A&M.
behind the
Yeah, so
scenes because he
he
probably had this
flew.
whole
He flew on a Florida State jet,
Oh
but he
man.
had Texas A&M hat.
Oh man.
Come on, that what really went on in the house.
So if you were to see Jimbo, what would you be doing right now to Jimbo if you saw him? Is he how did he leave FSU as a FSU
Jimbo
fan?
finally get a middle finger.
Would you be begging him to come back? Hey, bygones be bygones because of the championship, or are
No.
you mad and he would be on number one on the most wanted FSU list right now?
Nah, he won't be number one, but I won't beg him to come. I won't even speak to him probably. I was like, okay, oh, that's Jimbo, okay, and go this way.
You give him shoulder. Would you look at him and then make the effort to turn around and then walk the other direction?
Oh yeah, you gotta come on. I'm a Florida State fan, so I gotta let you know I don't like you now. I
Oh
gotta let you
man.
know that. Now.
Or are you gonna do that accidental bump? Bump on the chest really hard. Oh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
He didn't take it to the point where he get a little
Okay.
shoulder check.
Okay.
He didn't take
Okay.
it that
Okay.
far.
All right.
I won't take it that far.
I mean, he did give you
Yeah.
guys your championship, so at
Right.
least you gotta
So
remember that.
yeah,
All right.
you
So
just don't acknowledge him.
okay. Okay. So Willie comes on campus. What were your initial thoughts? And tell me what's going on in year 2, and tell me what's going on for the future of FSU.
All right. When it come on campus, I said, okay, I'm gonna give him that grace period.
Okay.
You got to implement his offense, get some of his recruits in. I'm thinking high pace offense like South Florida, hack the ball every 2 seconds. But his play calling is horrible. I don't know what's going on. And then I need to know who the defensive coordinator is, if Willie calling the defensive play, because I need to know who's calling the first half of Florida State games on defense, and then I need to know who's calling them on the second half. Because the person who calling them on the second half need to be fired.
Like
The person who calling, he need to call the whole game.
It's literally 2 different games. Like you will watch FSU game the first half to the point where you're like, you know what? I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. Let me watch another show. Let me watch another, game that's a little more competitive. You already know you all got this in the W, and then all of a sudden, fourth quarter, you're like, what happened?
Yeah. Third quarter, you be like that.
Jeez.
What's going on? Who's calling the plays? Is Willie on the sideline? If you were to not see Willie, you would think Willie went home.
After the half, you said, you know what? You guys got it in the bag. I took you guys to this point. I'm gonna meet you guys at the after party. Bring all the players, bring all the people. I'll get everything ready. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "What happened?"
Yeah, come back, get an alert on your phone. I'm just mind blown. Like this whole year, I was like, first half, Florida State back. We back now. Second half, oh no, I don't know who this team is. It's that what's the college team that was on the that movie Program? That's that Florida State. Who is that?
So what are we doing with Willie, man? I'm hearing rumors about some little kid is trying to sell lemonade to buy out his contract.
Yeah, I need to donate to the lemonade stand. And if I had 17 million, Willie, I'm sorry, Willie, you'll be rich now, but you won't be a Florida State coach.
What is it with like FSU is supposed to be that dream school that people go to? That's that upper echelon. Hey, I made it. So why is FSU paying people so much and having a buyout so large when you're supposed to be the spot and you need to be turning people down to be able to coach at FSU? I don't understand that.
Well, yeah, Florida State, but everybody like winning programs. Winning programs recruit for themselves. Look at Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. Like winning recruits itself. So if I'm a high school player and I'm coming out, playing time and program is first on my list. Location, if you're a baller, you ball anywhere.
That's what I was gonna say. Location. I mean, you're gonna have your fun no matter where you are. If you're an athlete if you're number one and you guys are winning, then the
Right.
party, the socializing, the good times is gonna be wherever you are. So I agree with you there.
Right. But it's also balling and winning, balling and losing. Ooh, because they get on that kind of selfish, like like you by yourself, like one man team. When you balling, but you packing stats, but you're losing. You 3-9, you're losing. But if you balling and winning, that's why winning programs recruit themselves. Like if I'm a baller and it's a position on Alabama for me to get some playing time early, I'm sliding to Alabama. I'm signing to Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Ohio State. I'm going now.
So that's from the perspective of the athlete, but what about the coach? I mean, why are y'all paying? Why do you have in your contract a $17 million buyout if you're
Oh,
trying to buy the man out?
that was a goodbye gift from the old AD. That was a goodbye, like last pretty much. From my opinion, F you, Florida State.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, that's what I was trying to get at because, again, if I'm that AD, if somebody's saying, "Hey, the only way that I'll sign here is a buyout," if you're good, you don't need to put that down on paper. The only
Right.
time you're gonna put that down on paper is if you don't feel like you're gonna make it, and that's your insurance policy.
I was
So
hype on Willie. But Willie ain't the answer for Florida State. We need to get Florida State back. Me personally, I probably would have, if I was an AD at Florida State, I'd try to persuade Deion Sanders. That's a brand. That's prime time. Prime time come sit on my couch. I don't care where I was going. I'm going to Florida State.
so what about this? So your mom, and as you'll figure out, Raymond and Sons podcast crew, Rod, Division I recruit. Rod ended up getting recruited, going to Alabama, playing over there.
Before the
But
Nick Saban, you got to say that now. Before Nick
okay.
Saban.
So he kind of helped build the program a little bit. All right. So you kind of helped build the program, get to where it is now. Hey, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for some of the practices that you did.
Yeah, I got hurt, so I ain't.
so
But
so if Dion is the GM, you kind of have a conversation. You're headed to Alabama. If Dion comes to your couch, says, "Hey,"
he come to my house?
yeah, if he comes to your house and he says, Mr. Roberts, I see that you're checking out Alabama right now, but you got to come home to Florida State.
I'm gone. Dion could be the head coach of Phoenix University. I'm going to Phoenix. I'm going ball.
So it's pretty much your mom against Dion. You going with Dion?
You got to go to prime time. I'm sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. You got to go with prime time. Come on, man.
Man. So, all right. So, when are you gonna buy that lemonade? Because it sounds like you gotta have to buy the lemonade.
Oh, I'm trying to see who I need to cash out, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. I'm trying to see where I need to send my money for the lemonade.
You may need to get a branch of that lemonade, the South Florida chapter.
I'm trying to buy the whole pitcher. I need the whole pitcher. Whatever it costs, I'm feeling it.
And then you can get the little ones to sell for you, man. Say, hey, you know what? Let me give you some allowance. Get some T-shirts, Fire Willie, and you're gonna be the Lauderhill branch of selling that lemonade.
Right.
So there's Florida State fans down here.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So what is it with the rumors? I'm hearing rumors that you guys are probably gonna be trying to check out maybe an Urban Meyer. You guys are trying to get him on. How much do you think that?
I'll take some Urban Meyer right now. I'll take some Urban Meyer.
Even if it's like for like 1 year, even if it's like 1 year, 2 years, and then all of a sudden he says, "Oh, you know what? I got health issues. I gotta go," just because he sees the writing on the wall.
Oh yeah,
although I mean, Ohio State's doing a little better than. I mean, he left them in a pretty good seat. I mean, right now.
When like the coach.
It wasn't like when he left USC.
or when he left the Gators,
Yeah.
Okay, the well it ran dry, so now you got a heart problem or something. You got health
Oh,
issues,
oh
and then a
man.
year later you at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Yeah. I heard
but
that he might.
I take some Urban Meyer. I don't
Yeah.
care what the AD talking about at Florida State. He tripping. If you wanna have a longevity as AD, you might want some Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I heard USC is also trying to get him too.
Cali. Cali trying to look good, man. They got Jalen over there, the Rams, Lakers. Cali looking good. It's gonna be
Yeah. I mean,
hard to beat Cali.
all the places
The
he's been
rain.
to. Let's see. He went to Utah. He was at Bowling Green, right? And then Gators. And then Ohio State.
Yeah.
Mm.
USC, man. I don't know.
I mean,
That's a brand itself now. Florida
he's
State
trying.
now, but they ain't no Florida State, but they a brand. I'm sorry, Keyshawn Johnson,
Ah.
Reggie Bush, and all y'all, but yeah, I didn't want no problems with no Florida State back then.
All right, so who's putting up the money then? So you called Dion. Dion said, "Hey, you know what? I got whatever you got, whatever Florida State, whatever
No,
Seminole
no, no.
Nation puts up, he matches, and that's how you guys get the buyout, and then you go on."
No, you don't take Dion money. You try to get Dion to come in, but we're gonna give you money to come in.
He might actually give you guys like a home player discount too.
Yeah, we got to be able to. Prime time. You got to get him away from NFL Network.
Okay,
So
so they got to pay him something.
yeah, you got to pay him now. You got to recruit him now. We got to go sit on Dion couch.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you see those
you got
commercials, those fantasy football commercials, and you see Dion, and you see how everybody reacts when
yeah.
he's the GM of the fantasy football. So we got to make sure he does that for y'all, because that's the only thing that I see. Because if you stay in this whole Willie Taggart phase, y'all, I mean, you're gonna turn
I,
into Ball State. You're gonna turn into Ball State.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I ain't saying Willie a bad coach. He just ain't the coach of Florida State.
Mm.
Because the pressure of Florida State is win, 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 not recruit and win 3 years from now, 5 years. It's win all the time. Make the bowl games all the time. Be in a tighter conversation, a playoff conversation. Be in the top 25. Florida State ain't been in the top 25 in how long? 2 years.
I'm saying, man. That's what I'm
Florida State
saying.
ain't been, that's the Scooter days, the Lee days, man. When Florida State was irrelevant. Like, come on now. I'm sorry.
Look, I mean, that story is probably just as bad. So I'm a U fan, University of Miami. So for me, growing up
like
down
tonight
south,
don't mean nothing.
I mean, it always means something though. Come on,
Who gonna brag about
FSU,
that game?
Miami. You're not gonna watch that game.
No.
You're not
I'm
gonna
pretty
watch that
I'm
game.
pretty I'm pretty sure I can find
Rod,
something a lot better. I could play
Rod,
VR.
Rod.
No. I'm gonna tell
Miami,
you,
FSU. You're not gonna watch that game. I mean, no matter how bad
I'm
you
supposed
are.
to be at the game. My friend had tickets, asked me that I want to go. I said, you can go and scout them tickets. I'm sorry. I'm good, bro. I'm out.
Wow. Look what y'all did, Seminole Nation. I mean, this man's mom went to FSU. This man grew up loving FSU. This man represented FSU. And you guys made this man not even want to watch the game. That is how
Yeah.
bad things are at Florida State Nation right now.
Both of them under 500.
They both actually 500. They're both 4-4.
Listen, if you a Florida State fan and a U fan, 4-4, you under
No,
500.
I understand
That's a
that.
horrible team. But
I understand.
if Hurricane was just 4-4 by themselves, it's a good year. Oh, it's a good year. We could be 2 games over 500. That's a good year. If Hurricane at
Oh
500 or below, oh yeah.
gosh.
We don't even need to make the playoffs anymore. I'm good. I'm happy.
Oh
But
man.
together, oh no, like what bragging rights?
I mean, again, you have FSU.
Think about it,
You're
Harry.
not the
Right?
worst team in South Florida. That's what the bracket route is. Is whoever loses the game is the worst college football team in the state of Florida, unfortunately.
Nah, you still see you
I
got
mean, you see how,
FAU,
I mean,
FIU. Like
I,
they'll beat them.
I, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm looking at both. I mean, I'm also saying from the Miami perspective, I'm looking at the games for y'all, University of Louisiana Monroe overtime. I don't know, man. But hey, I can't say anything else from my perspective because I'm looking at some of these games that Miami was losing. It's not any better. I mean, I'm looking at this schedule. You know what happened when Miami was playing against Florida that first game of the season, and Miami had a chance to win at the end of the game.
Right.
Only lost by 4. I'm thinking we should have won that game, but I'm looking at Florida now. Florida might beat Georgia, and I'm thinking, man, okay, we may do something.
You know it's bad when the Gators the best team.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Even though they won, late 2007, 8, and 9, Tebow era, they was doing their thing. It was horrible in Florida.
Florida has been great in a very long time, and they
I'm
actually got
saying the
to.
whole state when they was winning championship with Tebow and all that, it was horrible. It rained every day.
Oh, I mean, it must have been the whole entire college football in general was subpar when Florida
Yeah,
was right.
yeah. It was just a bad year for everybody.
I mean, I'm looking at the losses that Miami had, and the thing that I don't understand is that Georgia Tech game. That Georgia Tech game, Miami was doing just fine, and all of a sudden, that field goal kicker, nobody liked that field goal kicker in Miami. That should have won the game, and Georgia Tech automatically wins. So both these teams have a terrible season. I mean, the
I'm gonna
Yellow
tell you this.
Jackets are 2-5, and you
I'm gonna
lose.
tell you this. That game, y'all kicker did great. That was a great game for your kicker.
So
Don't you shame that man.
he's about to transfer over. He got the full ride scholarship, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the
Come
that's
on to
that
Florida State.
first. That's the number one. That's the first. FSU full ride going to the U
Florida
player.
State. Yeah. We love him.
I mean,
Best
he
best
may
player
not
on the
be a
team.
scholarship player over at the U, but he's a scholarship player over at FSU.
Yeah. All day. 5-star, blue chip, all that. We love that man.
All right, so do we have a take as far as who's, or you're just even saying now as far as who's gonna win that game? It's not even, you don't need, it doesn't even deserve Rod
No.
Roberts. It doesn't even deserve his pick. Man, this is
Like,
what you did, FSU Nation. This is what you
yeah,
did.
it doesn't matter.
So if they win or lose,
Doesn't matter.
it's
Doesn't matter.
So what is it gonna take for FSU family to get you back to watching this game?
Get man to Florida State football. They don't even do the war chant. What is this swag serving?
I mean, I
Next
heard
time,
y'all have this Dora Explorer bag. I heard.
like swag surfing. Come on, you got to come in there with that chant. Let them know. Put the fear in them. They don't even do that. No. Swag surfing. Come on, Willie. Take that back to the West Coast. Take
Y'all
that
got
back to
that
Oregon
Dora.
or wherever you
Y'all
got
got
that from.
that Dora the Explorer bag when y'all do a turnover.
Come on, man. You got some of the best recruits in the nation.
I mean, the athletes that Florida State had, they should have been able to perform just fine under his
Yeah.
offense.
Right. And then defensive wise, you got them. All right. They got them cornerbacks that you said, okay, who you want? Oh, you got him. Go get him there. Why are we running zone? Let them boys man up. Let them boys be dogs, man.
I mean, you only play zone when you have no athletes.
You're right. You got athletes, man. You got them go getters. You got them boys where they pop was the truth in the NFL, college, and everything. So I'm pretty sure some rubbed off. Them some dogs. Who you want? You want number 2? Go get number 2. Who you want? Okay, 15. Go get him. No catches.
What would
And then
Jalen say right now?
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, what would he say?
Oh, Jalen. Oh man. If he was at Florida State,
Mm-hmm.
as an NFL player now, he'd be
Both.
disappointed if he as an NFL. I'm pretty sure he like But if he was there, he'd be down for that. Man up, go get him.
I'm telling you, man.
You beat me. You gotta beat me. Show me. Make me ask for help. If I was the defense, I'd be like, what y'all want to do? If you want to run zone, we can run zone. But if you want to be dog and be out there, who you want? I have like, hey, number 2, number 15, number 3, go catch it. Go get them boys. If you need help, ask for it.
I can see that I struck a painful chord in you.
Yeah,
so
2019 is it's hard for Florida State fans.
So we're not even gonna do the pick then. So that game.
Nope. We're gonna put all right. This is what we're gonna do. When the game don't mean nothing and we really don't care, we're just gonna say it doesn't matter who wins.
All right, we're gonna do that.
Hats off to the winner if they win. So what game? I know you're a UM fan. Go ahead and tell them. Hold on. First of all, I'm tired of this. I got 2 teams in college.
It's not 2. It's actually 3. It's actually 3.
Tired of this. Tired of people with this. Oh yeah, I'm a Hurricane, Trojan, and Buckeye. Come on, man.
No. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, so if y'all were wondering, so grew up, my first football game I remember was a Notre Dame game, because you know how NBC plays all Notre Dame games. So I remember watching one of those games, and I remember Rocket Ismail taking back something. It's probably a kickoff for a touchdown, and from that point forward, that's when I became a Notre Dame fan. So that's when I learned about football, and that's when I became a Notre Dame fan. So for me,
that makes sense.
That's what it was. So that's where that comes in. And then me being from South Florida, even though I'm a Notre Dame fan, you've got the U culture. I'm not from Miami. I'm Broward County, but the U, in those times, that's when people were saying it's all about the U's. So started learning about University of Miami, the U, the swag. So then that's where Miami came up. But I went away for school. I went to school, undergrad and pharmacy school at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I went from probably like the year before laughing at UNC because their basketball team was terrible my senior year of high school. Then I found out that I was going to be going there. So I had to support the alma mater. So I'm not one of those people that, bandwagon fan. I have my 3 teams, and depending on the years, usually there's one team that does well, but there's times where all 3 of those teams will lose. So those are my teams.
Don't forget a lot.
Not a lot.
A lot.
But that's just what it is. And so I mean, you're a Tar Heel though. You're a Tar Heel fan though.
Basketball. Oh yeah, Vince Carter them recruited me. Oh man, Jesus. I seen that him, Jameson. Tar Heel basketball all day, every day to this day.
See, so you can appreciate that a little bit of the multi teams.
No, I don't.
No.
Oh.
So your FSU, your FSU love is only for football and it's not for the other sports.
I don't even watch FSU basketball.
FSU basketball has been coming up lately though.
I watch FSU football where 2019 I'm starting to lay off that. I watch FSU baseball. That's it. And then I watch Tar Heel basketball. And then track and field, I watch everybody.
That's more of a individual. it's a team sport, but that's more of an individual sport. So I can see where you come from there.
I'm just a fan of everybody. Like I don't have a superstar track athlete I follow. I just like watching the events.
You can appreciate. I give props to track and field people because especially the running. Like for me, remember, so I didn't play college sports, but I played high school sports, and I just remember running. It was always to get into shape to play football, but running run. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
You go to the track. You go to the track.
And you just run. To run. Oh, they probably trying to get on the podcast. That's what it is.
Yeah, oh, let me see.
Are
Hold
we already
on. Give me
trending?
one
We're
second.
already trending.
Oh yeah, we trending. They're not gonna know. They trying to get me to go to ESPN right now.
See, so I give so much props to individuals who are able to do some of this running stuff because I don't understand how people can do that. So
We used to, when I played football, like in little league and high school and stuff. In the off season, we used to train with the track people.
yeah, but that makes sense because you're training to play football. So
Right.
these athletes that are just running just to run, that I give them props because I don't get it. But again, I didn't come up that way. I mean, most of the fastest people in the school were football players. So, I remember like I didn't play track and field. My brothers did. But most of the time, the football players were all track and field, and they would just use track and field, like you said, as their opportunity to train for the football season. So they'd all do track just to improve their form. But
Right.
people just to straight up run, just to straight up run, I give them that. All right. So, any last you want to talk about baseball a little bit before we get out of here, or are we pretty much done for the day?
Oh no, we ain't done yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how long we
First
wanted to
of
do
all,
this.
we're not talking about baseball. Hold on, give me one more second. We're not
Yeah.
talking about baseball because Red Sox didn't win.
Okay. But
But shout out
I've got to
to the
do
Nationals.
a disclaimer. So I'm not out of the big three sports. Baseball is one of those games where I don't watch baseball
Okay.
to enjoy it. I mean, I'll follow it. I'll go into a baseball game. I can do that because as long as I'm with somebody else, because that's more of a you're talking and the baseball's in the background and then you're talking. So I can do that all day long. But when it comes to sitting down and watching a baseball game from the beginning to the end, I can't do that. But I've got to give love to the Washington Nationals. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Ne-
that
Props to the
story,
Nationals.
I've got to give them 100% props. I so unfortunately because I'm a Miami guy, I represent the Marlins. So you see a trend, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Florida team till I die, and I don't think I became. I don't think I had this love for Florida teams until I left Florida when I went to college, and people would talk bad about Florida teams, and then I'd say, "Wait, hold up, you can't talk bad about a Florida team. I can talk bad about a Florida team because I'm from Florida. You can't talk bad about a Florida team." So that's
I'm gonna
when
have
my
I'm gonna
love
have to
for Florida
disagree with you.
started to grow a lot more. You
When you
know,
trash, you trash. No matter
hey,
where you at.
but I can say you're trash. You can't say you're trash. All right, that's me.
Hey,
All right,
I
I'll
live
be
in
the
South
first
Florida
person to
now.
let you know my team
Everybody
is trash,
knows.
but you can't
Oh,
tell me how my team is like. So that's when I started having more of a passion for Florida teams. So unfortunately, yes, I'm a Florida Marlins fan. Yes, we've won 2 World Series, and then we sell all our players off, go to bottom. Yeah, we're that laughing stock. I know, but Washington Nationals, I got to give you props. The whole thing with Bryce Harper not wanting to sign back with y'all, and then you're sucking it up during the season, 19-31 at some point, barely make it to a wild card team, and from that point, slaying some of the bigger names in baseball. I got to give you guys props for that because you won the games that people didn't think you would win. Got to that championship. You won it without Bryce Harper. Now you're on top of the world. And yeah, Bryce Harper says, no love lost. Yeah, he got paid, but he didn't get that championship ring. So was it worth it at the end of the day? I don't know. I mean, man's getting paid. So I guess it's kind of like Dan Marino. I mean, if
you
you
get a
asked Dan
bag.
Marino, would you trade all that money
Oh
you
no,
made
no, no, no,
for a
no, no,
ring?
no, no,
Or
no.
would you trade all those records for a ring? I don't
Yes.
think he's gonna trade that. But
Yeah. Listen. First of all, shout out to the Nationals. Congrats on the champ. But I was going for the Astros only because our sister LA Pops was going for the Houston, and I ain't have no dog in this fight. So I was like, okay, if you going for Houston, I'm going for Houston.
I would have gone for Houston in a normal year. If I mean the Houston like none of those athletes on the Houston team are people that are terrible that are bad that you want to root against. And for a while, Houston didn't win anything. So, they would have been just fine if it wasn't that whole story about Washington. It's just that whole underdog mentality thing. And that's what I appreciate about them
Well,
because
it's no villain like Yankees. Everybody, I guess, if you're a Yankee fan, you
yeah,
root against them. So
yeah.
I'm a Red Sox.
Oh,
You
then
know
there you
how I
go.
feel
So
about
exactly.
Yankees. So the only villain team in baseball is the Yankees. So long as they ain't win it and we didn't win it, I'm fine. Okay, I'm cool with it. It was a good year in baseball.
So I got to give it props, and I just remember I ended up watching Game 7, and the Nationals were losing 2-zip. Greinke on the Astros is playing a good game. He only gave up one hit. All of a sudden, he ends up, Rendon. I mean, he ended up doing a homer, but then it's like 2-1, and you're thinking, okay, it's fine. And then all of a sudden, Coach takes Greinke out. After Coach takes Greinke out, the Nationals pretty much got their mojo, and the rest was history there. So that was a bad manager move. I mean, I'm not much of a baseball guy again, but I mean Greinke, I mean he's one of your go-to people. You got to go with him, and
right.
you
Especially in
bench
the Game
him.
7.
Yeah, you bench him.
You
That's
burn it
it.
out in Game 7.
I mean, you're not saving
You
him for
risk it
anything
all.
else. You're not saving for anything else. Greinke could have. I feel like if Greinke would have stayed in the game, I mean, clearly, I mean, looking at the score, I mean, 6-2. I feel like they could have stuck in a little while longer. But again, the Nationals, that's the team of destiny. That's the type of team where you watch a movie where you start from the end of last season and you got Harper leaving, and that's where you start that movie off.
Right.
1931. That's the movie. I'll co-produce that movie. You can be my co-producer. We'd make millions off of that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree with you.
Man, so we talked about those two games, those two things. Do we want to talk about another college football game before we go? Let's see. We've been talking for 37 minutes. I mean, the big game that everybody's going to be talking about is Florida, Georgia. So you being from Georgia,
Georgia,
you living in
Georgia,
Florida,
Bulldog,
what are we
all
going to do
day.
about that, man?
I'm picking Bulldogs.
I don't know, man. I think as much as
I
I don't
mean,
want to, as much as I don't want to
pick
say
a
this,
team. Pick a team.
as much as I don't want to say this, I can't root for Georgia because I'm a Notre
Okay,
Dame
okay,
fan,
okay. I'm fine
and
with that. Gators,
and
you
Notre
top then.
Dame should have won that game, but that's another conversation for another day. But I gotta go. I don't want to say this because I'm not a Florida football fan, and
Oh,
it
you
hurts
are.
me
You
to
are.
say this. No, I'm not. I
You
got
are.
so many. There are so many. I'm being in Florida. There are so many Florida fans.
Harris,
I
did
ah
you see how fast I picked the Bulldogs?
ah. Like for me, it's like what is the
I got
worst of two
Bulldogs.
evils for me right now? What is
I
the
got
worst of two
Bulldogs.
evils? I mean,
Bulldogs.
you from there, so you
Yeah, I'm
can
from
say that
Georgia.
and you're okay,
Right.
and you're actually kind of happy because Georgia. They're not gonna win it all this year, but that again, you can kind of rep where you come from. For me, there's so many Florida fans that I've associated with, and me being a U fan, but I gotta say I'm gonna go with Florida.
Cool.
I
Next
got.
week on podcast is me ridiculing Harry for picking the Gators.
I don't know, man. I think that
Raymond and Sons.
look. I think when that South Carolina loss, that came from nowhere. I mean, if you're supposed to be winning that national championship and you're primed to do it, you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And looking at South Carolina, that was the team y'all was supposed to beat. Now y'all had a bye week, so I'll give you that, and maybe you'll be able to mentally prepare. But that's a game you should have beat. You didn't win that game, so I got to go with Florida on this one. I don't know, like something about Georgia, they can't win those games for so long. They've had the teams. I mean, before it was a coaching excuse. Everybody said it was a coach. Coach left. Y'all got yourself a good coach, but until y'all win that big game, I can't trust y'all. So,
Okay, you picking the Gators.
oh gosh,
It took you a lot to get there now.
it's so
It took
tough.
you a lot to get there.
I gotta go with Florida, and if Florida wins, I gotta hear it. But
you can hear from me first.
no, I mean, if Georgia wins, I'll make me feel a little better because y'all beat Notre Dame, so then that's something. But I gotta go with Florida on this.
Okay.
And it's more of just, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. So, on another topic, Lakers.
All right, so this is all you. So my man here.
I'm not a Laker fan.
No. That's what I was gonna say. You are not a Laker fan. He is not a. I mean, you're a LeBron fan, and you're a LeBron fan for thin and thin, and I will give you that. But were you cheering for LeBron when he was in Miami?
It pained me so much. That day he made that announcement, I cried. I said, "Why the Heat?" Well, I know we rolled.
So the reason why he cried is because this guy, he likes Cleveland because of that shot.
Yeah.
So tell him what I'm talking about, Rod.
I said I'm a Cleveland fan. I'm a Cavalier fan. The price. It's just a hard-working team that's trying to prove themselves. Like the Cleveland now. Oh God, I don't watch none of that trash. But I'm still a fan.
You're talking about the old school. They work hard. Yeah, nobody likes them.
Jordan was there.
Yeah.
Come on now.
If it wasn't for Jordan,
you wouldn't get past that wall. That's like
if it wasn't for Jordan, then
I ain't gonna say that neither now. You had the Knicks, the bad boys.
But at least there would have been a chance. At least there would have been a chance, though. Mr. Price, at least there would have been a
Pacers,
chance.
Reggie Miller Pacers. Oh God, it was a lot of walls now.
Yeah, I mean that's when the East used to be the league, and you come out of the East, you'd be fine, kind of like what the West is now. So yeah, so this guy is a Cleveland fan. Then LeBron fan. Well, I mean, but you started liking Cleveland, so when LeBron came to Cleveland, then that was like a win-win for you.
Right.
And then, so that's what I wanted to know. So that just shows you how much of a LeBron James fan this man is, because when he went to the Heat,
I was at games. Oh man, it was horrible.
And for me as a Miami Heat fan, I appreciate those years. Those 4 years were 4 of the best years in
sports for the city
history, that's never going to happen again. Never going to happen again. But
probably because it's South Florida though. So
and so another topic for another conversation: how I got conned by the Miami Heat. I mean, that's my team for season tickets. So here I am leaving. I finished Orlando, come down, work in South Florida, and LeBron's on the Heat. That 4th season, I'm like, you know what? Let me get some tickets. I'm a huge Heat fan. D-Wade's my guy. So when he's playing with his brother, I'm happy. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm going to get in now, lock that in so that I can get some Heat tickets.
Forever.
And I can, instead of me just coming down, having to drive down from Orlando and watching, 1 or 2 games and having to pay like $300 for a ticket, I have season tickets.
Like you had an inside man that like, oh yeah, LeBron ran up again.
I mean, I got the tickets before they got to the playoffs, and I'm thinking, okay, we beat San Antonio last year, we'll be fine this year. And remember that first game, I think something happened to the AC in San Antonio. LeBron got cramps.
Yeah,
he still should have won that game.
Pop. We know what.
And then after that, then I mean, San Antonio, I had to give it to them. They played some pretty ball. The way that ball was flowing back and forth. I still remember I was on a cruise, I think, when I saw that game. And I was like, if I was there.
It's the Spurs. They run like a machine.
Hey, but we beat them that year before. But
It took a
and
lot though.
yeah, but it wasn't like I mean that series was terrible. That last series when Spurs
Yeah.
won. If you're a Miami fan, so LeBron leaves.
Go to Cleveland. Do
Hey,
his got do his goddamn thing in Cleveland. Like he been doing. Like everywhere he like I know it's a lot of LeBron haters, but you gotta get a man props. The man do his thing no matter where
oh
he at with
yeah,
whatever he got. Whatever the crew is, let's do it. He
yeah. I
tighten
mean,
it up.
again, I gotta thank him for his 4 years.
Yeah.
You know,
He gonna do his goddamn thing.
I can't be mad.
That's why I respect him. That's why I'm a LeBron fan. Cause I know this man gonna ball. If you gonna get him some people out the 55 and over league, he gonna ball. And he gonna make them ball.
I mean, you
So
see Cleveland year before and the year after, they pretty much had all the same players except him.
yeah, you see
They
what
go
happened, right?
from in the championship game to not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, and the lottery pick.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in there
Mm-hmm.
watching a golf ball, or
And
ping pong ball.
and those lottery picks clearly didn't do it.
Right.
So okay, so we're talking about the Lakers. So what do you think
Lakers.
about that game against Dallas?
It
So
was a
they
good
played
game.
they played last night.
That's
I'm
like
impressed. I think Dallas is definitely gonna do some stuff. I mean, I think you
they ain't a
know
threat.
was that.
They're not a threat in the West now.
I think they're one of those young teams that are gonna start making some moves. I mean, they
What you
got.
talking about 5 years from now?
I'm talking not maybe not 5 years. I'm talking about maybe 3 years, 2 or 3 years. I mean, they're not gonna make it to the championship, Western Conference Championship this year.
Nah, listen, man.
Look,
You got them.
Doncic, if you let him play,
You got them. You got them. You got them. The monsters in LA now. So if you're a Laker fan or a Clipper fan, it's scary over there. Even Houston now.
look. So how long are those contracts? Are the 5 year? I think they got 3 years. Let the LA's got to come up and leave,
But
but those
but you got
dudes
to
on
think.
the Mavs aren't going anywhere. They're gonna
You
be
got to
those
think about it like this: how long more can you play with load management they got now? That load management thing, okay.
for who? For
For the NBA players, you got load management now. You know, you play 2 games, take 2 games off. So you can, that prolong your career. So Dallas probably a problem in 5 years, maybe 4. Causing what happened in LA, that Paul George and the clause thing
that's
don't work
that's
out.
that's kind of my point because I feel look between Porzingis and Doncic, if they stick around, I mean they're both young. They clearly
Right.
like each other.
It remind me of Dirk and Nash. You know when they
Yeah,
were together a little
exactly.
bit.
So that's the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is that those two they're gonna stick together forever.
But I
You
don't
know,
think they got enough firepower to get past like a Houston Rocket team, the Clippers, Lakers.
well, not this year, not next
Oh,
year, not
Portland.
these next 2 years. But
Portland
that's
be
why I'm
there
saying like
5 years
three.
too now.
Hmm?
Dame Dollar, DJ.
No,
Okay.
Dame's the dude. It just depends on who's is McCollum going to be with them still. Because I feel like after a while, McCollum's going to feel like he can have his own team.
He got his team now. That's a co-owned team, right?
I'm just saying, you know how it
Ain't
is.
no alpha.
Once
It's 2 alphas over there. It's
look, I'm
alpha and
not.
alpha.
The problem is at some point. I mean, you see it all the time with all the big players. Like you saw what happened. Well, I can't say that the OKC thing was. I mean, OKC was more of no, they didn't want to put up the money to keep Harden. But how many MVPs you had? If they would have just stuck together, they should have. That should have been the dynasty right there. You
But
know.
all
But
right,
at some point,
Harden,
the
you
alpha
can't do
male
that.
comes out and they want to do their own thing. So that's what I'm
No,
saying. That's what I'm seeing right now with the
you can't.
Blazers.
You can't
McCollum is
do
going to
that.
want to be alpha male at some point.
No, because Harden and CJ, Harden and OKC and CJ and Portland was in 2 different stages. Like Harden came off the bench. I guarantee you, you asked the GM for OKC and said, told him, Harden gonna be the person he is now in these last few years. Oh, Harden, throw the bag at him. Harden is still in OKC. unless he requests a trade and sit out and act a fool. But only thing you looked at Harden when he was in OKC, a good player. Now he's a great player.
So,
you
what did Houston see that they didn't see? Because they pretty much gave him the keys as soon as he went to Houston.
But you got to think about who was there before he got there. So to get a good player was a win for Houston, and then it got to a great. He turned into a great player. It was like win. Oh, we won all the way around now. Because you got to think who was in Houston before Harden.
I feel like there were a lot of better players, supposedly, if that was the case. I mean,
he was a good. Only thing you've seen Harden, okay, he's a good player. Like he can come off the bench and give you 20.
I mean, that's kind of
player that can come step on and give you 40, 50 anytime. 30 on the average.
I guess my point with that whole OKC thing is how many third options do you have that can give you 20? If you're getting 20 off the bench,
but you get
and he's young,
third option,
and he's young,
you 20, but he won $200 million though. You can't. That's too much money tied up in 3 players.
I mean, there's a lot of players nowadays. And now I know I know the salary cap is different now than it was then, but there are a lot of players that are getting that money, and they're not giving you 20.
Right? Yeah, NBA throw money. NBA throw money out there.
And to be respectful, yes, it's a different salary cap now than it was before. But I'm just seeing some of those contracts now. I'm like, he's getting paid.
Right.
He's getting paid.
Me and a couple guys, we talked about lacing up now. Well, give me $20 million for 10 years. I'll do it right now.
Hey, what I was talking about when LeBron ended up going to the Lakers, I'll be the 10th man. I'll be like what was his name? Was it Big Baby? Hey man, you the man. Keep it a good word. Hey, you the man.
Oh, yeah.
give me $2 million. I'll say that all day long. You don't even have to give me $2 billion.
I'll sit on the sideline with my.
Give me the veterans minimum. Give me the veterans minimum.
High five.
Hey, I'll be that guy that takes charges.
Yeah. I got 6 fouls. I got 6 fouls in the night.
I got 6 fouls. I'll wipe the floor. I'll be the towel guy. Right. Let me know what you need me to be for the league minimum. I'm not even asking for double digits. Just give me 500,000. I'll be okay. But I'm sorry. So we were talking about the Lakers. So yeah.
The Lakers. I feel like Lakers gonna be a big problem for everybody, and I'm a LeBron fan. I want him to win. So some of the Kobe hate come down, and stuff like that. So if he bring a chip to the Lakers, that put him in a category by itself. Because like if Kawhi win one for the Clippers, Kawhi be I guess the first person to bring a championship to 3 different teams.
Yeah.
So him and LeBron is in the same race because either he gonna do it or LeBron gonna do it. And we'll save it for another podcast to talk about Kawhi because I'm a Kawhi fan too. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother monster right there.
You already talked about the Dynasty Slayer. He
another monster there. That I don't even think. I ain't never seen him drink water, so I don't even know if he's human.
That dude is straight up Bionic Man. That should have been his nickname, not the Cloud, Bionic Man.
But them injuries and stuff. I was like, man, I don't even know if he hurt. He might just put on let us know he can feel pain, I guess.
So what the Lakers have this year, like what LeBron has going on, like for now, he's playing with house money. Like once he did what he did over in Cleveland, anything that he does after that is bonus. Like. I don't see LA being mad at him if they don't win the championship. The amount of hate.
They greedy.
Yeah, but maybe LA, but not the rest of the world.
No,
they all know. Hey, when you did what you did in Cleveland, like when you won in Miami, nobody said, "Oh, that's D Wade. He didn't do it himself." And then you had to learn the formula. And then when he did that in Cleveland, now
legacy was stamped when he did it in Cleveland.
Yeah. This is just bonus.
It just put him in the top tier. It put him. Me personally, now I know I'm.
Do we need? Hey, I know we're gonna go. Let's say this for another episode.
Okay.
Let's say it for another episode. Right. Let's say for another
I know.
episode,
You know I'm
because
going.
that's
You
gonna
know I'm
be
going.
that's gonna be a 3-hour episode where we agree to disagree, and that's just
Okay,
what it
okay.
is. All right. So we're,
But you
we're
knew
gonna
I was
say
going with
that
that.
we all know where you're gonna
Okay.
go there for that.
Right.
But I think what he's got going is when he went to Miami, there was so much because of the decision, because of he didn't win anything, and when he had the team and that whole thing with Miami, so he had so much more pressure there. Cleveland, I mean, he was pretty much like Cleveland was terrible. He wins, okay, he's the man. But if he loses, it'll be like, well, you went to Cleveland. He didn't really have anybody. So
But
now the Lakers, it's less
it's a
pressure.
lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
It's a
He'll
lot
tell
of
you that.
pressure, but it's not as much pressure as the Miami. I think
The
Miami,
Miami. What? It wasn't
especially when
pressure.
they lost that first year against Dallas. Oh my
Right.
goodness, down here. Oh,
Oh
you
yeah. You know,
it,
down here they'll turn on you. They'll turn on you
well,
during the
that's not
game.
here. That's the media. You remember how they used to have like a Miami Heat link in ESPN,
Right.
and like people would hate Miami so hard. Like I remember the
But
Boston fans would hate on them so hard,
you
and
need somebody to hate.
hey,
Like the
so
media need. Like, all right. You need hate. You
I
need.
know.
So when somebody do something that you scratching your head or like, oh, that you seem unfair to you, you gonna hate.
See, but the
That's
thing
what he got.
is with him going to LA, he was the only one that was there, and people have come after. So they're gonna leave him alone because he built that place, the
It's
current
kind of like,
version of the team.
yeah, but
It's not. So I don't think he's gonna have as much pressure there than he did in Miami, and I think
he got
he's
that
playing with
pressure.
yeah.
I
No, he's
think
he's
because
always gonna have pressure being one of the top 2-3 players in the league. You're always gonna have that pressure.
right, because like Skip Bayless, you got to shut him up. You got all of this. You got you know like LA, they so used to winning, not lately, but in the past. So
And that's my point lately. Like I feel like so in the West, Golden State people are talking trash, mad trash. I don't think they're gonna talk the same trash about the Lakers as
let's
they
see,
are
you got
right
to
now
think.
for Golden State.
No, good. All right, go to state with bread, raised and losing. Yeah, they had a nice little run, 4 years, whatever.
And
Now you
then
going back to what you were raised in.
that's true. That's what they were before. Yeah, I mean before Run DMC, I guess. But yeah,
So you were raised in losing. You had your nice run. Now it's back to what you do. It's back
you
to
back to
normal.
who you are. You are
Right.
who we thought you were.
You even they had concept. This is our reality.
Mm-hmm.
He know what it was. Steve Kerr would tell you when he played and Golden State was there. He pretty much would have said it was a win for them.
Yeah, I mean that team was the same team as what's his name had I forgot his name, but all of a sudden you have Steve Curry tweaks up the
Mark
starting lineup.
Jackson.
Yeah, Mark Jackson, which that's another story in itself.
Right. Yeah.
But but so no, I think yes, I think there's gonna be a lot of because it's LA. LA is one of the media capitals of the world, so the attention is gonna be on there. But I think they're going to be, they're going to have all the games, all the primetime games. You're going to all of a sudden start seeing Laker games because I don't know
Oh
when
yeah,
the
I'm
last
fine with
time I
that.
saw Laker
I'm
games
fine.
on TV.
Well, Lakers plays on the TV a lot, even losing.
I
It's just
don't,
the Lakers,
I
but
don't remember. I
I'm
remember.
fine.
I see more Houston games. I mean, you see more Clippers games for a while. I mean, now since the Lakers are
Yeah,
back,
with Blake Griffin and all them,
you weren't
but
seeing the Lakers play on Sunday on NBA and NBC, and then you weren't seeing the ESPN Channel 10 stuff. You weren't seeing those
right.
Lakers. So,
I'm fine with a little extra LeBron now. I'm
oh,
cool with that. I'm cool
I
with
know
that.
you're cool. And for me, though, it's going to be the conversation that we all know is going to happen throughout the whole entire year Kawhi versus LeBron. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Western Conference Championship game might
That's
be better than the finals
oh, yeah, yeah. I think so because,
if both make it. And we're gonna knock on wood, hope nobody get hurt, so we
yes,
can get that, and then just see who's the king of LA. Because that's
hoping
what you fight for.
I'm hoping that goes on for at least 3 years, 4 years. And if we can do that,
it's King of LA, and then whoever coming out the East, I hate to say it, to lose to the LA team.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
because I don't see nobody in the East
no,
really challenging them.
no.
You know, you got hold up now, year 2 of Brooklyn with Kyrie and KD. All right.
It depends on where he is.
Now
Is it going to be Kyrie? What year Kyrie are we looking at? Are we looking at because Kyrie? I don't know.
I like what I'm seeing out of Kyrie though. He look way more in shape. He look a little more muscular. You know, I'm telling you, I don't never sleep on Kyrie.
Look, we saw Kyrie coming out when he was over in Cleveland and he hit that shot at the end to get them. So when he took that shot and he made it, that's when I feel like, okay, Kyrie, you really a household name because I remember
Kyrie could have had 2 championships right now.
Yeah.
Only thing he had to do was stay in Cleveland with LeBron.
Yeah.
And not grow such a big ego. I know
and that's the part, and that is the part that I'm curious about when KD comes. I mean, they talk, hey, yeah, we're brothers, my brother, blah blah blah, but that's the part that I want to see.
But you know, KD,
I know that Kevin could do it.
Right.
Kyrie did it at one point, but he wanted to be the man. And after you got a whole year of Kyrie being the man on that team, then you have Kevin Durant coming in. That's what I want to see.
Nah, but you know, they spoke, so they know. You know what you're getting into.
Hey,
I think it was a different, situation when LeBron came back. So at the end of the day, you was in this man's castle. You was in this man's kingdom, holding it down. You drafted there, and then when the king come back, hey, somebody got to be a prince now. Somebody got to be a lord.
That is what is going to dictate the NBA for the next few years is the egos. Can you do that? And it's everywhere.
I see that the NBA doing their little promo. The super team is dead, but because it's more like spread out now. But if you look at it, is the super team really dead? Because it's still like 2 to 3 all of on one team.
We all just like how it's been for like the last decade. There's been the teams that you knew were going to make it, and you just want to see what would happen.
Right. Because right now it's only a handful of teams.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Lakers, Clippers, Rockets.
I don't know Rockets.
I don't.
I'm just saying Lakers and Clippers. That's it.
Rockets will be in the mix, but they'll probably run out of steam. Because the boys gonna have to play a lot more time. In the playoffs being shortened, so you got to play. You got to ride out. So don't burn yourself out.
And they just the thing with the Rockets is just the defense, like. But again, that's another podcast for itself, man.
Yeah, but the saying, a great defense is great offense.
I don't know, man.
But if you burn that offense out and you getting tired, game 6 and 7, hey, the offense gone. So your great defense gone. So you can high score more. Now, if I got fresh legs, if Harden and Westbrook got fresh, I like them now. I ain't gonna say you're just gonna roll over them now, but that Laker team and that Clipper team, how they built, like that Clipper team,
that's
all the way to the
end.
That's
what I'm saying. And they play, and they play both ends. They play both ends.
Yeah. From the first person on the bench all the way to that dude that's in the warm up to the dude that's in the suit. Oh yeah, all the boys go ball. Now that Lakers team, it's a little top heavy.
Yeah,
you need a little more in the rotation, but that top heavy is. Ooh.
No, that top can tip you over. It's really gonna come to LeBron's fresh. He had the whole playoffs, whole off season. He's not playing, so this is the year that. I mean, this is it. This will show you because they're gonna be deep in the playoffs, but this is the most rest he's ever had in his life. It
Right.
doesn't look
You
like
know
he's
they
going to
do
be
it.
want to do any of the Olympic stuff. He doesn't want to do that, I don't think. So
Right.
he's just strictly, I need to do this. I need to build my brand. So it's going to be, how that's going to be, and can he stay healthy another year? It's looking at the Clippers again, defensively and offensively, they can do their thing.
Right.
And then on the East, I mean, it
You
was
got
supposed to be
Brooklyn,
Milwaukee, but
Boston.
when you got my Heat beating Milwaukee, and they
Well,
didn't
it's
even have
early.
Butler.
You know they don't
I
play
know it's regular
basketball.
season. I know it's regular
You
season.
know they
But
don't play basketball until after February, man.
hey, give me as a Heat fan, give me the wins that I can get because
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because you
4-1,
ain't gonna get a
number
lot of
2
them.
in the East. So give me that. Let me enjoy that because I'm not going to see that all season. All right, so number 2 in the East.
For now.
Give me that. 76ers. I mean, I'll be very curious to see, whether or not
That's a
what's in
three-team. In the East, it's a three-team race. It's Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston.
Yeah.
Kyrie don't got enough in Brooklyn to beat them.
No,
So,
not this year. Not this year.
yeah.
Like you said, next year, and we'll
Yeah,
see.
he'll be
They
on.
still, and I still feel like they got to bring somebody else. So
Well, no, KD is a two-man. That's two men coming to the team.
I
So
know,
when you
but
play, I know it's 5-on-5, but with KD, when you like
KD's
certain
been
players,
KD's getting to that point where he's looking like he's injury prone. That's a hard injury to come back from. Is he gonna
yeah,
have that
it's a
step?
year.
You know. So
But you 7 foot, so you
no,
don't need
no,
that
I
step. You
get
can
it.
jump.
And as you get older, I mean, you don't have to jump. Your shot, just the
It's
way he
already
jumped. If he does his fade away, no one's gonna block that.
right.
But it's just the endurance. It's just the endurance.
Right.
So
We'll
can you
see.
do that?
I got faith in KD coming back being strong, and then it shifts when KD come back. And if he ain't 100% KD, and he like
No,
80 KD,
they're still gonna
oh
go
yeah,
to the
they in the
championship,
mix. Yeah, they in the
Eastern
mix.
Conference. Yeah, no, for sure. It's just are
They
they
in
gonna
the
have
mix.
enough to be whoever the king of LA is gonna be?
Nah, because
Yeah.
you got to think about it. Them boys that are coming out of
That's
LA
what
and
I'm
that
saying.
West
So that's
Coast,
why I said they needed another person. They need another person.
especially that Clipper team.
Yeah.
That Clipper team, you need like 8, 9 people to beat that team.
And they got a coach. And they got a coach, Doc.
They got 2 coaches.
Yeah, Doc and Lou. Yeah.
Yeah, they got 2 coaches. They
Yeah.
got 2 head coaches. Well,
Yeah.
most NBA teams got 2 head coaches
Yeah.
next to each other, but they got 2 good head coaches,
Yeah.
great head coaches.
Yeah.
But year 1 with KD back, Brooklyn instant contender coming out the East.
No.
Year
No,
2,
sure.
if they stay together and there's no problems, they can dethrone some stuff now.
Yeah, I see that too. All right, man. We giving America a little bit too much.
Oh, okay.
All
Let's
right.
do the NFL picks, and then we'll cut it because I think we over at an hour.
Hey, we
and
over an
14
hour,
minutes.
man. Do we have time to
Yeah,
do NFL picks, or do we need to do that in another episode and just stop right here?
Let's give them the top NFL games.
All right,
So
how many games do you want to do? Let's not do all the games.
Let's do 4.
4. Let's do 2.
Let's do 4.
All right, we'll do 4.
So we don't break even. So
All right.
So
there's got to be 3 then. We can't do 4. We got to do 3 then.
Let's do 3 now. We can do. All right. Let's do Patriots Ravens.
Well, I mean, we already know who. So, as you'll learn, America, Rod is a Patriots fan. Now, is this a Patriots fan or is this a Tom Brady fan?
This is a Patriots fan. This is Curtis Martin.
So when Tom and Bill are gone,
Watson,
when Tom and Bill leave together, will you still be paid? I'm just asking.
I'm a Cleveland fan. Ain't nobody in Cleveland.
Okay, I just want to make sure that America hears this. All right.
Yeah.
We got this podcast filming on November 2nd, 2019, so we know where you stand. All right.
Okay. So Patriots, Ravens, Patriots.
It's got like Ravens they can't match with that D. They can't match with the Nobody has been able to figure out that D. Yes, I give that Lamar's got some legs, and I think that would be the thing that could make this interesting because all the other players, I mean, to this point, I mean, I don't want to disrespect the Patriots, but Patriots really haven't played. This is going to be the game where you're like, okay, we know that the Patriots are going to be definitely in the East. They're going to be making that championship, the AFC Championship game. We know that for
Right.
sure. They're gonna have home field. Home field's pretty much locked for them. So, and I feel like they would beat whoever's in the West. But
So who you picking?
as a Dolphins fan, I don't want to say this again.
Ravens. Okay.
No, I'm gonna be picking the Patriots.
Okay, Patriots. We on the same
As a
boat on that.
Dolphins fan, I don't want to say the Patriots, but I gotta say the Patriots. I mean, Tom's gonna. It's not even because of Tom. It's because of the defense. It's the
Okay.
defense. It's the
Okay,
defense.
defense.
I
I give
mean,
you that this year.
all defense is. It's getting to becoming historic. They're getting
Okay.
to that point where they're getting to
Yeah.
historic. All
Yeah.
right,
Because every time I see it, I like that defense.
the
All right.
defense, but we will see who they really are.
So
But
you
I gotta go
taking
with
you
Patriots.
taking
Yeah,
Patriots.
I'm
Oh,
going
Patriots. Okay.
Patriots.
Game 2. Vikings and Chiefs. No Mahomes now.
Mahomes isn't playing right now, so I mean, look again as a Miami fan. I've been all about more. I know more. More looks good for a game. You start getting excited for him, and then after that he does something. You're like, that's why. And again, this is definitely going to be quarterback play because when I'm looking at the teams, I feel like Minnesota, they're starting to get hot now. They're starting to
Right.
ride. I think, their quarterback is getting them somewhere. Dalvin Cook is a beast. I mean, this dude is running. This dude is rumbling, jumbling.
That
So
sound
I
that
got
sound like fantasy talk. I know you got him on your fantasy team.
no, I do. But in addition to that, though, look,
So
you
you
got a
going
better
Minnesota?
you got a better quarterback running back combination with that team. So I'm
So
going
you going
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
If Mahomes was there though,
Going
that would be a
Minnesota.
little more of a conversation, but without Mahomes, I'm going Minnesota.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm Kansas City don't have defense.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
So I'm gonna go Minnesota.
mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna beat around the bush. Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings by 14. I don't put points on it. Woo!
Oh, I'm not blinking at that. I'm not blinking
I'm
at
putting
that at
points
all.
on it.
I'm
Minnesota
not.
Vikings by 14.
I'm not blinking at that. I hope it's at least 14 points again because KC is not going to be able to score, and they don't got a defense.
Yeah. So we're gonna go NFC on this last and final game.
Who you want?
Chicago Bears, Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly, man, Philly. I mean, Mitch Trubisky is tripping right now. I don't. So UNC product. So another story. So again, me UNC fan. Trubisky doesn't play until his senior year. He's not really balling out doing anything. And then all of a sudden, I found out he's the number one draft pick. So I
Yeah.
am mad at UNC. You had the number one draft pick, and you couldn't make any noise at all. So
Hey,
yeah, no, Philly,
I'm
Philly.
I'm gonna take, even though I want Philly to win so they can challenge the Cowboys,
Mm.
I'm gonna take this one for the podcast. Chicago Bears.
Okay, so what do you like about Chicago to
Defense.
make you do that? Yeah.
Eddie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We got them boys.
Yeah.
Them boys will hold them down, and
Yeah.
Carson Wentz will give it to him.
I think Carson Wentz. I think Howard. I mean, Howard's been. I mean, he was quiet for the first half of the season. They were like in a running back by committee type deal, and I think
Right.
now he's beaten Sanders, and now he's got the number one, and that's the Juwan Howard that. Well, no, and didn't Juwan Howard used to play for Chicago?
Yeah.
So that might do a little something
Oh, he can
too.
run it. Listen, defense.
Look, that might do a little something too. He may have a little revenge. Hey, this is what y'all missing out on me, so that'll give him
Until you
another
get
extra.
hit.
Oh.
Until you get hit. Yeah, you were taking revenge. Now let me just get what I can get.
Oh man.
Ain't no more what you're missing. I got Chicago. I'll take Chicago. So the recap, Minnesota. I got Minnesota, New England, Chicago. You have New England, Minnesota, and Philly.
That's the tiebreaker right there. That's the
All right.
tiebreaker.
Yeah, you know I had to go against. We can't side on everything.
No. I mean, our rationales were different, but we came to the same conclusions. And
Right.
like you said, if it wasn't for the podcast, you would have gone for Philly, I think.
Yeah, I would have went for Philly. I hate the Cowboy fans. So if they win, I know the Cowboy fans are in pain.
Don't we all? Don't we all? All right, man.
Sure.
Been an hour 15 minutes.
All right.
Hoping, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first episode of Raymond and Sons.
So,
You know, we will focus on sports, but we'll do some current events, do some
on the next
technology
one.
because Rod is a man. He's a wizard when it comes to technology. So I'm hoping that you liked what you were listening to. You know, if you like what you're listening to, please subscribe to
Tune
our
in.
podcast. Tune in.
Hit
We'll be coming out with something
thumbs
at
up,
least once a week.
bell, subscribe, do all of it now.
Yeah, make sure you tell your family and friends. You know, in
Donate
addition
to
to
me
that,
so I can donate to get Willie out of there.
there you go. In addition to that, we want to make sure that you share with everybody who you like and why you like. Feel free to leave some comments. So if there's specific stuff you want to talk about, why, who, what, where, we can do that for you. And let's just make this a thing, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you again for listening to us, inviting us into your home. Until next week, Rod and Harry, we are out.
Out.